AVC, it's Travis back again with another vinyl update. It's been just over a month or so since my last one. Got a nice little stack of records here to show today. Quickly want to thank everyone for swinging over to my band's channel and subscribing. We're able to hit over 100 subscribers and secure a unique URL. So if anyone's interested in checking that out, it's now youtube.com/tonerband. So thank you very much everyone that swung over there and subscribed. I do appreciate it. I also want to apologize for any background noise that might occur during this video. I had my little room heater over here that might kick in and, cause some noise. But we'll just roll with it and see. Got to stay warm during the Wisconsin winter here. It's been cold as hell. So let's just get right into the records here. Couple things that I've been waiting a long time to add to my collection that were finally reissued. Super happy about. First one here, Beck Odelay. This was just reissued a couple weeks ago, I think. And there's been an unofficial bootleg kind of floating around for the last year or so that I've seen online. And I don't think I've seen it in stores, but I know I've seen it online. And I just didn't feel right about jumping on that. I figured the 20th anniversary was coming up this year. Fingers crossed that they would reissue it, and sure enough they did, along with a couple other records and eventually his entire discography from what I hear. But this is one of my favorites from the 90s. Excellent record. So super happy to add this to my collection finally. I've been looking online for a long time trying to find like an original pressing. They're usually somewhere between like $60 to $100, give or take, and I can just never find it. So glad that they reissued it. They also reissued Sea Change by Beck, so I picked this one up as well. This one was available on the Mobile Fidelity Sound Labs label for a while, a couple years back. I think they're out of print now, and they're pretty expensive. So I'm glad they finally reissued it. I thought this sounded great. I had no problems with the 2 LP set. Excellent album though. Super happy to have that as well. This one here, again, another one I'm just glad I finally got my hands on. Get Behind Me Satan by the White Stripes. This one was never commercially available. There was a promo version, I guess, released back in I think 2005 when the album first came out, and I don't think there was a ton of copies of it, but it's super hard to find and also very expensive. But they for last year's Record Store Day, they reissued it finally on colored vinyl, and when they announced that they were reissuing it, they said that there was going to be a black vinyl version coming shortly after. And so I didn't rush out to the store to get the colored vinyl version. I decided I'd just wait for the black vinyl version to get released. A year rolls on and still haven't heard anything about it. I was like, I wonder when they're going to reissue it. And it was probably like a week or maybe less before Record Store Day, they announced that they were going to have these available starting on Record Store Day. And, I guess continue to have it available thereafter. So I didn't go to the store on Record Store Day, but I ended up picking this up a couple days afterwards. Super glad to have this too. I think this is a really overlooked White Stripes record. I've always kind of liked it, but I knew it was different from some of the previous ones like White Blood Cells and Elephant and stuff. There's less guitar on it, but some really excellent songs on it. And again, it's the last one I needed for my White Stripes collection, so super glad to add that to the collection finally. Also picked up this, I listened to this online and thought it was pretty solid, so I decided to get the vinyl. It's Dinosaur Jr., Give a Glimpse of What You're Not. Their new album came out this year. I'm not super familiar with some of their more recent albums on Jaguar. Kind of more familiar with their 80s and early 90s output. But this is pretty solid. So if you're a Dinosaur Jr. fan, like me, or alternative music in general fan, I think you'll dig this. This is pretty cool. So, awesome. Dinosaur Jr. The rest of these are kind of just assorted stuff. Some of it I found online, some of it antique stores, and some at the record stores and stuff. So here's one that I don't think I've ever really seen before, but I've seen his other albums kind of just, you know, in bargain bins and stuff like that, and I never really thought much of picking one up. But this one was in good condition, and I decided to give it a chance. It's Roy Buchanan, second album. It was in excellent condition, and it's kind of mostly instrumental from what I remember. Kind of guitar, rock stuff, blues. So pretty solid, pretty good. I dug it. This one here, kind of a weird kind of compilation, greatest hits sort of thing. I'm thinking, I'm not sure, but it's some kind of reissue. It's James Cotton Blues Band Dealing with the Devil. Apparently includes previously unreleased material. Just kind of some dirty Chicago blues, you know, which I dig. And it was kind of a blind buy. I never heard it before, so pretty cool. This is one I found at a record store. Exposure by Robert Fripp. Oh yeah. Yeah, again, it's, you know, one of those things. I'm not really familiar with a ton of his work, apart from some King Crimson and stuff like that, but yeah, this was excellent. And speaking of King Crimson, I also picked up this as a blind buy. You know, to be completely honest, like you know, I only have one other King Crimson album, and it's In the Court of the Crimson King, which I dig it. You know, I just don't have a ton of, I don't have any of their other albums, you know, so I'm not really familiar with any of them. But I saw this, it was a couple bucks, and I decided just to kind of jump on it and see what it was all about. King Crimson Beat. And much to my surprise, I thought this was killer. I was kind of thinking it was going to be more of kind of like maybe like 80s, like kind of prog rock. Because I think this was 81, 82, yep, 82. And I was kind of thinking it was going to be kind of like a Yes, like 80s prog type thing. I was completely wrong. It's more in the vein of almost like a new wave type thing. And then I kind of started looking at it and realized that the lead vocal and guitar, Adrian Belew, had did some work with Talking Heads and stuff, studio work, and maybe even some live work too. But yeah, it's a little uncanny. I think that maybe Talking Heads took a little something from this, or the other way around. I'm not sure, but this is pretty cool. I dug it, so it was a surprise, but definitely, you know, on the lookout for more King Crimson. I don't see him very often. That's the thing. Got this one online. One I've been looking for a while as well. The Undertones Hypnotized. It's a gold stamp promo on Sire Records. Kind of punk rock. Thought it was excellent. I mean, I've listened to it before. I mean, but it's a very cool album. And I also found this at my antique store too, which kind of is what prompted me to pick that up online. Was a Positive Touch by the Undertones. Was pretty surprised to find that in my local antique store. A little bit of, you know, wear on the cover. It's a white cover, pretty hard to keep clean, but yeah, solid. Undertones. Here's another one I found at the record store, and it's just one of those things that's just like kind of just flipping through the bins, and wasn't really like looking for this, but decided to, you know, jump on it, I guess. The Fuzz Tones, Leave Your Mind at Home. It's kind of a short live EP. I think this is their first release, and kind of 80s garage revival type thing. It's a live LP. It's not the greatest sound, but pretty cool to find, you know. Fuzz Tones. So pretty cool artwork too on the back and the front there. But if you're into garage rock, definitely check that out. It's, you know, of course from the 80s though. Also, I was on a little bit of a J.J. Cale trip recently. I already owned a couple of his records. I had Troubadour, and then I actually inherited my mom's copy of his fifth album, 5, it's called. So decided to kind of fill in some of the empty holes. Got his, I think this is his debut, Naturally. Let's see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is his debut album, Naturally. Um, but it's a reissue on MCA Records. Originally was on the Shelter label, but J.J. Cale, this album contains After Midnight, which of course became a big hit for Eric Clapton. So that's probably where most people know him by. Is some of his songwriting. I also picked up this one, Okie, J.J. Cale. Yeah, I've just been really digging this lately. These are all in really nice condition as well. And then this one here, Really, by J.J. Cale. Kind of hard to get a good shot there without that glare. There you go. Yeah. This one I actually picked up recently. And honestly, I was kind of surprised to find it in the store. But apparently he had just put it out and I happened to come across it. It wasn't really, again, it wasn't one of those things I was just actively looking for, just something I kind of came across. And I was surprised to find it just because, he recently passed away. And usually after someone passes away, there's kind of a renewed interest in their material or albums and stuff. I found Leonard Cohen's Songs of Love and Hate. I have his self-titled album I got, I think, earlier this year. And been kind of looking out for this one too. My buddy Steve had this a long time ago, and I think we had listened to it once. And always kind of wanted to get my hands on it. And then, of course, then he passes away, and I was thinking, oh, there's no chance I'm ever going to find this now. But, yeah, I ended up finding this is excellent. Very cool. And last one here is, again, kind of a blind buy for me. I'm not super familiar with a lot of his work. But I decided to jump on this. It's Tom Waits, Small Change. This is a original pressing. It was in the shrink wrap, which was almost kind of unfortunate because I think it kind of ruined parts of the cover near the edge here. But anyway, it's, to me, it's kind of like an acquired taste. I think I've listened to some of his other songs and stuff before, but so I kind of knew what I was getting into. And when I put this on, I was like, oh man, I don't know about this. But once the record started kind of kept playing and stuff, I kind of started getting into it a little bit more. But Tom Waits, he has a lot of albums too. So I'll probably, continue looking for some of his other albums. Maybe I'll pick them up if they're cheap enough, I guess. But I dig it. It's pretty good. That's actually all I got for today. So I wanted to thank you all for stopping by, checking it out. Hopefully I'll see you again soon. Peace.